Hey, what's good? You already know it's your boy Ken Wall, and today is finally that Spider-Man video, and we're doing something a little different. I'm not gonna be saying, just discussing about the game and just diving into what I think is exactly what's so good about the game. This time it relates to the warning. It's going to be about 6 things that I think Spider-Man for the PS4 or whatever Marvel Spider-Man does better than the movies. Let's get it. So how this video will work, I picked 2 things from each franchise that I didn't like. So 2 things from Homecoming, 2 things from the original trilogy, and then 2 things from Amazing Spider-Man. For the trilogies and the Spider-Man, it could be, I'll be more specific with it, it could be from one of the movies. So first thing, number 1, consequences. The most tragic superheroes in my opinion are Batman and Spider-Man. Spider-Man because he has this inverse effect kind of thing that goes on in his life. Whenever Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker takes an L, and that's what makes it so sad and tragic. In Spider-Man Homecoming, I feel like this was a big part that was missing in the movie. There was nothing like that. He never really felt that he was messing up and there was repercussions to his mess up. Like, for example, when the store blew up, he straight up destroyed this man's source of income. He could have died, his cat could have died, because he was probably living above, because it was New York, above the store. He straight up ditched his friend at the party, and then his friend forgave him for some reason. He endangered everyone's life that went to the monument, and he ditched the decathlon. And then when he asked to be back on the team, he was just like, let's do it, you're back on the team. It was like, but he just straight up ditched everyone, even though it was a responsibility for him to be there. I don't really get that. The consequences were real and deep when it came to the game. Save Aunt May's life. Oh shoot, my fault, there's spoilers. Save Aunt May's life, or most of the people in New York die. That's what you have to choose. Spider-Man saves the day, Peter Parker loses his aunt in the end of the game. That's something big. You can't dismiss that. Another example is Peter deciding to put Doc Ock in prison. This is a great example because it shows how much this Spider-Man puts the needs of his city in front of his own needs. Peter lost his mentor, the person he looked up to the most. And it was just that just a lot of it goes into how they told the story, because you knew he was going to become Doc Ock, but how they told it was you didn't want him to become Doc Ock, and you saw that he had very good qualities just because his shit fucked up. But it was just so great how they did that, and you felt bad for Peter because you knew what him and Otto were trying to do from the beginning. They were trying to help people out and do good for the world. I just feel like the game just did a better job at capturing those moments. I really liked in Homecoming though when he lost his suit, because that was the first time he learned that when you mess something up, everything's just not going to go back to being.
This is great.
Number 2, the suit. What I really respect about Spider-Man is how my man doesn't need anyone's help to build his own stuff. He does everything himself, and how he gets away with building his stuff. It's always some clever way. To me personally, I think this Homecoming suit gave him everything. It gave him too much stuff. He didn't have to build or program anything in the suit. I feel like it was a distraction because he didn't know how to use it. So when it came to him trying to get stuff done, he'd be too focused on trying to learn features like kill mode. I think that's partially due to the writing, because every time they made him use the suit, they'd have to show off some irrelevant feature inside the suit, like a heater. Come on, bro, he doesn't need that shit. Like, what? He didn't have to create his web shooters because that came with the suit. In the comics, Spider-Man builds the spider drone to help him take pictures while he's being Spider-Man. The only time they showed Peter creating something was the web fluids in class. Spider-Man is very self-made. Bruh, in the opening scene of the game, you see him programming his suit. That's one example. Another example is for one of the backpacks. It says that he used Mysterio's helmet to create his own lenses. In order to fix his suit, he has to go into Doc's lab late at night And if he wants to create his own gadgets, whenever he does it, he has to use Harry's research labs. You can't just dismiss these things. These aren't just little things. That's one of the things that goes into what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Hey, the woman you love?
Yo, Mary Jane wanted all the smoke, all the action in the PS4 game. Tobey Maguire, that original trilogy, she was annoying. That montage sums up her whole role in that movie. They did her dirty. That's not how she really acts. I don't know why. And this version of her is just way better. In the game, they broke up because Peter kept treating her like a child. It was overprotective. She wanted just like, the reason why I like her is I like when they make these girl characters actually useful. I don't know why they keep writing girl characters like they're not helpful at all, like they can't put any input. She was helping out Peter all throughout the game, gathering intel, and that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to stop being saved by Spider-Man all the time. She wanted to do some of the saving, and that's what was cool about it. Like I said, they did that actress so dirty in the original trilogy. She was some subpar actress. Her role, Mary Jane, was just boring. She was a damsel in distress, always screaming her head off. Like, shut up, like, Jesus Christ. I hated those missions in the game, but her character turned out to be pretty damn dope. Number 4, maintains a relationship. I absolutely understand why in the Tobey Maguire movies, well, I kind of do. I understand what happened to all his relationships and why he couldn't keep them with the people around him that he cared about. But it's like, damn, bro, you can't, like, you're that busy, like, you can't even find some wiggle room to make it happen or show up. Like, god damn, bro. The thing I liked about in the game was he found time to show up for those people, like for Miles. I loved his role with Miles, how he was like his big brother, and he still found time to make it to Miles' first day at Feast and showed him around. With Mary Jane, he found time to cook at her apartment. Wait. We gotta address this real quick.
Whatever you're cooking right now, it smells amazing.
The chicken curry just needs some time to simmer.
Yo, Spider-Man is West Indy now? What you know about chicken curry, bro? What you know about that? Anyways, Peter still finds time out of his day to show up for the people he cares about, and I like how they show that and how he makes an effort to do that. Not all the time he's busy, and it is still possible for him to achieve all that stuff. Number 5, Peter Parker's personality. The thing I think the PS4 does a better job at is making Peter Parker's personality still seem familiar, but a little different. In the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Peter Parker is just some hipster fuckboy skater street rat kid who it comes off just as cocky. In the Amazing Spider-Man movies, they wrote Peter Parker very poorly because he didn't seem like the outcast. He was just some kid with a skateboard, showing up late to class. Like, you didn't get that vibe from him. They still made Peter in the game have that nerd science kid personality in him that everyone is still familiar with. When he's talking to Mary Jane and trying to rekindle things, you still get that feeling that he questions what he's about to say, but he still goes in and he tries to do it. He's not cocky with it. He doesn't know how to flirt or anything. That's what they were doing in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and it just didn't seem like Peter Parker, at least to me. Bruh, in the movie, Peter wasn't even being bullied. Remember the kid? I barely even remember that movie. I remember the kid, wasn't it there was some rando kid, and he was being, like, held up by Flash, and then Peter had to come in and save the day to show, like, that movie was a mess, bro. That shit was trash. In superhero movies, the villain's plan, his motivation is one of the most important things you have to establish in the movie or in anything, a game, book, anything. You have to be able to sympathize with the villain, especially when his plan is to infect a bunch of people and kill, just mass murder millions of people. It has to be, you have to see why he's doing it. You have to at least be able to see, okay, I can see where he's coming from. It ain't right, but I can see where he's coming from. In the Amazing Spider-Man movie, the first one, the lizard was just trash. The dude wanted to turn people into lizards because he thought there was no such thing as being a human being, something like that. Throughout the movie, they didn't build up to that, nor did they make the audience see where he's coming from. In the game, Doc Ock used Devil's Breath, which is a biological weapon, on the people of New York to try and frame Norman Osborn because Norman was a dog and kept profiting off of everything Otto did, and he was experimenting on people. Norman was just a bad guy. Otto was his end game was trying to make Norman just get revenge on Norman and make things right in his mind by Norman going to jail. Actually, by the end of all of this, he was putting everything on Norman. For those people who played the game, completed it, and watched Amazing Spider-Man, comparing the two, did you see why Otto did what he did? Can you at least, it's not good, obviously, but did you see why he did it? Yes. Did you see why Doc Connors did it? To this day, I still don't know why this dude did that. The lizard was just trying to make everyone like him, and I didn't feel bad for him whatsoever. Otto, I did, because Normal was just, he was screwing him over, and the game just did a way better job at establishing that. Insomniac killed this shit. Wanna know why? Because I see people comparing this Spider-Man and putting him into the conversation of who's the best Spider-Man or who's your favorite Spider-Man. That's how you know. I love this game. I got that 100% last week, and I just want more. This game isn't perfect, but it's pretty damn good. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if I missed anything. And I could have made this list longer, but the problem is I didn't want to pick on just certain movies. I kind of want to make a balance to it. But anyways, like I said, tell me what you guys think, if I'm missing anything. But yeah, have a good one, guys. You already know who it is. I'm Ken Wall. I'm out. Peace.